All right, everybody, welcome back to the Aviator series here on Madden 26. We are in the off-season now, setting up for 2027. It was a rough year. As you can see, players like us, but the fans are kind of mixed. The coaching staff has been rough, but what I could say right now is the addition of coordinators Dan Kugler and Emmanuel Ortega, I think that's going to help us out along the way here. What we also are going to decide here is what do we want to do as far as the offense and defense is concerned. We're going to be rocking the West Coast zone run still, but we're going to be using the Baltimore Ravens playbook. Defense, I think, is solid. It's the Baltimore Ravens playbook to try to get more read options because I do believe Jalen Milroe could be our guy. Now, this team still has a lot to deal with, right? We need a right guard. We have to work through the O-line. I mean, Cam Robinson has been absolutely atrocious, and at 31 years old, his progress is still fine. I don't know why he's just not a great O-lineman for us. I thought he was better, but I guess not. He's a 73 overall freaking guy, and how he gave up 19 sacks last year. So I could see myself potentially moving on and trying to get some tackles there. We need to figure out our left guard. No, Dave Edwards is still fine. Furholt's still fine. We need to find a right guard, and then we need to decide. Maybe we move Jalen Moore into the guard position. He's 6'4", 311. That might be a better fit. So we need tackles this offseason, 100%. I would say the rest of the group, McBride he lost his dev trade. It is what it is there. We got to figure out our tight end group. The running back crew, I think, is pretty solid, but whether we decide to extend Blake Corum is a decision right here. I mean, he's I think we're going to be fine. We got to look at the extension. I think Corum is fine, but I mean, I like Tucker. I felt like Vidal has played well. The wide receiver group, honestly, I really like Drew. If we can bring him back next season, I think that could be a nice move for us, but we got to worry about the negotiations. On the defensive side, I mean, Nakobe Dean, Gabe Stevens, they played solid. Peyton Wilson played solid. I think the linebacking crew is going to be just fine. I don't think I need to get too crazy with that group. Maybe get another depth piece if needed, but I think that's a solid crew. Most of our guys were hurt. We got to see if we're going to, we got to see how this is going to work with Ross, Watkins, Braswell, and Yidogos Matos. Interior, we're not going to re-sign Barrymore, but I want to see what we can do with Steele, Briggs, and Tonga. I think that's not bad. Taylor Britt had a decent year with Will Johnson. Kadir Kahu was injured the entire year, so now we're going to see him play the slot. Max Melton, I thought, played very good for us. So a lot of things to think about here. I'd like to... oh, yeah, this is the thing, too, is I had Aaron Patchett having to play long snapper because we couldn't find a freaking long snapper. So we should be able to move him back to left guard now. Actually, I might be able to move right guard, and that could improve his ability here. And yeah, he's a 74. So the right guard position could be fine. David Edwards, this guy's been frustrating. He gave up 8 sacks, but the dude was always freaking hurt, man. Like when you look at the season stats, it just, yeah, he missed 12. He missed 3, and then he was injured like in between game, like in the middle of games. Just kind of messed up the rhythm there. But we'll see what happens. I think I have Edwards for a couple more years, so trying to remove him doesn't really make sense. Oh no, we got him for 1 year. So him and Cam Robinson aren't permanent. So we could decide to trade Edwards if need be, kind of work from that. I don't know if I really like Wilson or Harrison Jr. Harrison Jr. did not have the craziest of years. He had the most yards receiving, but we didn't really pass as much, and that's where I'm going. Do we really need a Marvin Harrison type guy, or will Michael Wilson fit with the Ravens setup? You know, that could be a thing to think about there. Michael Wilson, you know, I thought he was playing pretty well. You know, in real life he's solid, but you know, he had 1,000-yard season the previous year in 2025, but then for us, it's 629. So balance, we just didn't throw as much. We didn't really have a true combo, but I like the potential there. I mean, Marvin, let's see what Michael Wilson's contract looks like. I don't know if it's too crazy. 2 more years and he's not going to cost a lot. So definitely could see myself trying to spend a little bit more. We got about 80 million in cap space. So we'll think about that. We didn't see much of Phillips. He was hurt for parts of the year. So we need to see who is going to step up and be the dog on this team. So let's check out the negotiations here, see where it stands. So we got to go after Pat Ross, who looks like he doesn't want to play for us. Neither does Barrymore. Peyton Wilson is kind of willing to play with us, but it's going to cost me about a little over 5 million a year. Not bad. Jair Alexander, we're going to let walk. Blake Corum doesn't want to play for us, but he's only about 5 million a year. Denzel Burke doesn't want to play for us. Audric Estime, Jabril Peppers. Tom Drew doesn't want to play for us. Bryce Ford Wheaton does. Justin Simmons doesn't. Larry Borum, kinda. Brevin Jordan, he got free money, dude. Chris Tonga, definitely considering that. I think it says 8.7. I don't know about that. I think I'm going to let him walk. We need a long snapper. Andre Dillard, Chaz Surratt, Aaron Rodgers. So what I'm willing to do, because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to cost me some. He actually going to cost me much. And he's a mentor, I believe. If we look at his play card here. Check out his tags. He is a... Oh, is he not a mentor? What the hell? Is he really not a mentor? I thought he was. Let's look at it real quick. He's a mentor bridge quarterback. So with the amount of money we have, about 87 million, I would say I'm willing to bring back Aaron Rodgers to mentor Jalen Milroe and then we'll see if he's willing to come back. I think I'm gonna have to go 3.5 million, but he doesn't want to rock with us, and that is fine. You're looking at Andre Dillard for another year. I think we can probably get him for cheaper down the road. Chris Tonga, no thanks. Borum, Simmons. I mean, I'll bring back Bryce Ford Wheaton for a cheap deal if he wants to come back, and that's a nice little test right there. And then if I had to choose, I mean, I could bring them both back. He doesn't want to play for us. A 3-year deal is fair. He's 27 years old. I think the rotation that we'll have there will be pretty solid. I'd say about 6 million is solid, and he takes that with no issue. And then Pat Ross, right, a former first-round pick. I mean, I'm willing to give him 10 for 2 years, but he's gonna go test it, and you are welcome to, dog. I ain't about to. I mean, if we franchise tagged him, it cost me 37 million. No thanks. So all in all, we didn't do anything crazy there. As much as we could have, I think this is a nice move. We just signed Bryce Ford Wheaton to a prove-it deal, and then Peyton Wilson helps us with the linebacking core. So the linebacking core is set. The rest of the depth on all the other positions, we're going to have to work on. And I'm hoping, folks, very nice little deal here. It looks like a couple players. It looks like Tyrod Taylor retired here right before the free agency market occurs. So I'm really interested in seeing what is available out there right now. We got about 80 million in cap space. Still got room there. Look at that. The Quinnen Williams at 29 years old is available. This quarterback, got Mac Jones out there, Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson. You got this other guy, Xavier Golston, 23 years old. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Xavier Golston. See what you do, dog. His second year, 6'3", he's a pretty good size, like a pretty good stature guy. Yeah, he's kind of like Davian Rodgers. I ain't with that. I'm not worried about that one. Will Levis, Desmond Ridder. I think we're good there. We'll look at potentially another maybe a mentor if possible down the road. Halfbacks, right? We don't have Blake Corum. I mean, we got Sean Tucker, but look at this. No one wants to rock with us. I mean, got Kendre Miller out there, another former Saint. Ray Davis. I mean, he could be a fun guy to grab at this point. Akers, Ford, Moss. I mean, there isn't too many running backs there. Wide receivers. I just don't see myself trying to get crazy with the wide receivers. Some more depth pieces I don't think wouldn't be bad. So looking at some like low to mid tier type of guys, like maybe a Dortch. I wouldn't be upset about trying to go after like a Trey Tucker. That could be a pretty decent move there. There's some okay wide receivers along the way. Tight end group. I mean, we do need to get some tight ends, but I'm not going to break the bank on them. I think you want to rock with some guys that could work out. Evan Ingram could be very intriguing. Speedy type of tight end right there to help us out. Got some other low tier tight ends here that could help us on the back end. But you look at Tucker Kraft, he's him alongside McBride in the type of Ravens offense that is set up for a 12 or 13 personnel. Tucker Kraft could be a really nice player, but it looks like people are trying to go after him. So if we do it, we're gonna have to spend that money. Left tackle is definitely a spot I'm considering, right? And you look at someone like Orlando Brown. He's a top type of tackle there. He's 74 overall. He's got all the bits to play it out, though, man. I wouldn't be upset about that. I think that could be a move for us there. Guard, I mean, there isn't anyone better than Edwards, so I don't really see myself trying to do that. Maybe Matthew Bergeron. I think you'd have to spend some money on that. Don't really need a center, but Elgin Jenkins would be fun. Garrett Bradbury, some solid centers there, but we got Froholt. Wyatt Taylor's still out there. I mean, we do got Pratchett, so do you necessarily need to go after someone like Wyatt Taylor now or go after someone like Osiris Terrence? I don't think so. We need to get the bookends going, and this is where I'd probably be willing to spend my money here. Jermaine Illuminor would be a really solid tackle to have at 14. You got Colt McKivitz that's out there. I mean, these are some pretty good tackles. I mean, even Warren McClendon wouldn't be a bad one. He's 26 years old. Still room to learn there. You get 12 sacks. Oh, gosh, dude. 12 sacks given up. Let's look at O'Neal. How was his last year? He had 8. So, I mean, if we're willing to spend the money, I think you get the bookends to help that quarterback out. It's not to say that we're not going to draft another QB, but we got 2 first-round picks. I don't necessarily feel like we need to do it. I think there's a chance, folks, that we could use our early pick to trade back, get some more picks this year and next year to, again, accumulate and get us going. We don't really need any edge rushers. I mean, I can maybe look at some depth there, but I'm not getting crazy. But I am looking at defensive tackles. So when I look at where I stand as far as depth is concerned here, I am looking at the players that I would love to pursue. I mean, you got Kenny Clark out there. You got Kalijah Cansey, Devon Godchaux, Tyre Tart. These are all like 30-year-old or older, like around 30s that, you know, they're a little older, but you need someone along Steele and Briggs to really hold it down. There's some pretty good players out there, but I just don't see it for us. I'd like to get some more depth pieces here, helping us out with the linebacking group, but I don't need to go nuts. That's the key thing there. And we do need a long snapper, so that's something I gotta spend some time on to grab there. Drew Sanders is out here, so we got some linebackers we could potentially look at that I think are pretty solid. Corners, I don't really feel like we have to get too stupid there too, because I think we got a good group of corners. I could see myself potentially bringing back Jair Alexander just to get him for a cheap deal, but there's some other guys here that I would like to bring that I'd be fans of. Jalen Jones. I'd look at maybe QB Blue Kelly, Julius Brents. So bigger inside zone, like slot corners could be fun. Free safety, I think we're okay in this space. I don't really want to get too wild with it, but we'll probably look at that in the later parts of that of the free agency market. And then I need a long snapper, so we're probably gonna have to go after one soon. But not too bad. We're gonna go ahead and set that up. We'll let you know who we're gonna grab right after this. As we continue to work through our free agency, I wanted to look at the mock. What do they have us going after? They currently have us as a top 3 pick looking at a tackle. Dion Wheaton. Looks like he's got all the attributes that scream an amazing player. But the way I kind of look at it is, do we want to bring him in, or will free agent suffice? Sean Beckford. Looks like he could potentially be a top 3 pick there, top 5 pick. Dante Derby's another one who's considered a top 5 pick. You look at that right there, that could work out. Looks like the Jets are going defense in the draft there. Got Eric Patterson. I think we got like the one of the last picks. They got us going after a halfback in Philip Bundy. I just don't know about that. Now his speed and everything screams pretty amazing, right? Elite strength and stuff, but is that worth it to us? When you see something like that, right? He's strong as hell. He's more of a north-south guy. I mean, his cone's pretty solid. He's pretty agile too for a big dude. Is that worth it there for Philip Bundy? Not sure. But there's some other guys on the back end. Looks like they got another cat here, Gerard Berry, a running back. So running backs are... Ooh, this looks like a guy I'd go after, Gerard Berry. We got to do a focus. We could do that. Looks like a tight end could potentially be taken at the back end right there. Santiago Nava. Holy hell, that's another tight end that could be really solid. So, interesting setup. I don't think it's really telling me much there, but I could see myself knowing that we're there. Do we take the tackle? It looks like the best tackle that's out there is probably going to be taken ahead of us with Minnesota. I don't know if I really want to tackle. I think this corner would be very intriguing there. I think even a defensive tackle that's considered a top 5 pick could be really, really disgusting for us. So you got to think about it. You know, defense is probably what I'm aiming for. There isn't really an offensive weapon here in the early part of the draft, but we'll keep at it. So we decided to stop at 60 players, and this is what we did. I thought there were some good additions. Colton McKivitz, he was available once again, signed up to a 2-year deal, ensuring that right tackle position is solid now. We were able to get Blake Corum for a cheap deal, pretty much 2 for $4 million a year. Picked up a long snapper who's only 27 years old, signed him to a 4-year deal. Snagged up Chris Paul, who I think could take over for David Edwards if he can't get his crap together. We found a sneaky pick right here. If we can't grab knowing that we're in the Ravens setup now, we have a fullback, Tyson Franklin, 2nd year, 6'2", 221 out of USC. Dude's got speed. He's got versatility in the backfield to help out our group there. Snagged up Orlando Brown coming over from the Bengals. Just a 1-year deal to help us out. Picked up Patrick McCarry, a right guard. Again, this is about solidifying the O-line to picking up some good veterans that could help out if the youngsters can't hold their weight. Picked up Jason Pinnock. Can't believe how young this guy is, man. He's 28 years old, helping us out here. Currently now back with the Giants, which I'm pretty pumped about. Found another tight end, Greg Kitchen here. 24 years old, more of a blocking type tight end, but he's got 88 acceleration with a 78 speed, so he's got some burst to him. Snagged up a slot corner in Juju Brents. I think he can really help us out there. Found another player here, good veteran, Evan Ingram, $4.5 million, very cheap deal. Can help us out in the tight end crew. Found some speed, strong safety here in Derek Forrest. We went after Bub Means. He's only 27 years old, 6'2", 215, bigger target, helping out our QB. Found a veteran here for a cheap deal, Eddie Goldman. He's 33 years old, still has some strength in him, and I think he can hold down for depth. And then we brought back Aaron Rodgers to be our veteran, and mentor for the QB room. Now, as far as across the league, interesting enough, Quinton Williams goes back to the Jets. $53 million for 2 years. DeForest Buckner to the Raiders there for a 1-year deal. Brian O'Neill, I was really trying to get him. We just could not pull the trigger there. It was too much money. I figured go after McKivitz while everyone's going after O'Neill. We get a shot. Tucker Kraft going to the Rams. I think that's a great move for them. Jamal Dean to the Panthers. Elgin Jenkins to the Jets. So the Jets got their O-line set. Hunter Henry to the Titans. Zach Charbonnet over to the Browns for a $20 million deal. Drew Tranquill to the Jets. Yaya Diaby to the Titans. Tony Pollard there. Quentin Johnson to the Falcons. Kashawn Boutte to the Falcons. Kobe Durant to Colt. Barrymore heads to Cleveland. Some pretty good players there, man. I think all in all, not too bad. I think we did some really good things to help us out. Pat Ross ends up going to the Commanders, so he's not in our division. We may see him in this upcoming season. So we got 60 players on the roster. Can't complain. Now we got some private workout stuff. And this is where, right, I'm trying to figure out what is available, what can work out. And one of the things I was checking out was that halfback. It was Gerard Berry. Something about this guy screams like he could be a menace to society right there. So we're going to try to check him out. I don't know if there's anybody else that had an incredible combine. I mean, you got Mason Kerr, who is a power back, didn't do the combine. And you got Ezekiel Gerard, folks. Check this out. It looks like a round 2-3 player. This is huge. We may not have to draft one early. You got a guy right here in Ezekiel Gerard that looks like a steal from an overall standpoint. He's not the strongest guy, but his goal is to just get out into the open field and light it up. 5'10", 211 could be a sneaky move there for us. I wanted to check out some wide receivers here. I mean, we looked at Ben Tovar. He now looks like he's more of a mid-rounder, even though he's in the round 1 and 2. So I don't know if we necessarily need to do that. I was looking at Juan Cabrera here. Now, the thing with Juan is he's got some issues with catching, but dude is a lightning in a bottle there. Holy hell, he can route run. He's got speed. This guy is screaming. He could be a dog there. So we're going to try to check him out. I am looking at wide receivers right now because I want to see if we can find some weapons to replace some of the guys that we could eventually move on from. Now, you also got Taylor Fernandez, who looks to be a dog here, folks. Look at this. Taylor Fernandez, a release, and he looks like he could be a ridiculous player. His route running needs somewhat work, but his medium route's there. His short route is there. Yeah, I think this is going to be a crazy steal. Taylor Fernandez could be a guy for us. So, what the heck? So these are the guys we're looking at here. Halfback Gerard Berry, wide receiver Juan Cabrera, and wide receiver Taylor Fernandez. I think those are some good moves there. Before we head to the draft, we definitely have some pieces here, and this is what it would look like. We're now an 83 overall offense with an 81 defense. I think this team looks pretty freaking good. We're going to see probably Blake Corum get an opportunity to start first, but if we can get another running back in this mix, I wouldn't be upset about it. I do want to get the wide receiver core tested, though, because we need to know what we're going to do. And Jalen Milroe doesn't necessarily mean he's the guy, but I don't want to risk a quarterback in this draft yet. Defensive tackles, we didn't really sneak up for one, but we usually tend to find some good defensive linemen in this draft. We tend to do that pretty well. So it's going to be fun. All in all, you're looking at a good group right here. When you look at this type of defense, man, it is pretty solid. Good young crew. I mean, maybe another edge rusher potentially, but I don't really want to get too wild with that until maybe the next draft. I think our corners look solid. I think our safeties look solid. This is a very, very good crew here, and I can't really complain. Even in the specialist roles, it looks pretty solid. So we're going to go ahead and advance it here, see what the draft looks like. We'll also talk about maybe some of the players that we're gonna scout, you know, I mean, that we're gonna put on our board. When I look at this here real quick, let's see where they stand, right? Cabrera, there it is. He looks like a #1 overall, like a round one type of pick. People are going to be staring at this freaking 4.27, 4.31 speed right there. That is crazy. And then guess what? The left tackle, Conrad Whitfield, looks to be a really good player here. It's not to say that you can't grab him, right? Conrad Whitfield here looks like a ridiculous player. Just because you got Orlando Brown doesn't mean you stop trying to draft. So maybe we grab him. But I was looking at, folks, that wide receiver, 6'4", 229 at a UCF. He is considered a round one cat. I mean, we trade back a little bit. That could be the move right there. I mean, the O-line looks like it is designed to go nuts. I mean, Nathan Jackson looks like he could be a nice find in the round 1-2 range. You look at Gerard Berry. There it is. Gerard Berry looks to be like a round one player. Now, just because he's a round one player, do you take him knowing that we could get a 2-3 down the road? Maybe. This is the risk that we have to take right there, because when you look at the halfbacks, he's the only one that we potentially scouted there. But then we looked at this guy right here, and Ezekiel Gerard, he could be an easy steal for us and, you know, be more of a depth piece and take over potentially for Vidal. As far as the wide receivers, you know, we're going to have to freaking start throwing darts at a board there and seeing what could work out. But honestly, this is the type of draft where we could potentially just say, you know what, let's see what we got here. Let's see who's going to be the dog. And you got a 4.46 tight end right now in Santiago Nava, who's got a pretty solid vertical. Not the greatest of three cones, but pretty solid shuttle for as big as he is. Now you got this other cat right below him in Eric Ramos, who looks to be like in the rounds, in the first and second round. I mean, this is, again, another player that could work out. His broad jump is sticking out more than anything else. 3-cone, shuttle, solid. This is probably the dog right here. This is probably the guy in Eric Ramos. So we got to think about that. Nava is another one. I mean, the tackles, everything is screaming like we found some sneakier picks there. I mean, you could go after Nathan Jackson later too. I mean, there's some pretty decent ones there. Whitfield's another one. I mean, I just don't see us freaking out there. The O-line, don't really need a guard. I mean, if we could find a guard, great, but I don't really see myself trying to get wild with it. Maybe a day 3 guy. His broad jump was shite. Levi Tucker looks like he's a better type of guy. Yup, Levi Tucker looks like a steal in the later rounds. Check him out. Center, you always want to think about bringing in some guys that could work out, but I don't really want to do that. There's Meyer, Tony Meyer. Day 3 guy, looks like a 2-3. We were scouting this guy, and he looks like a steal right here at right guard. Again, it's about building this team up, making sure that we're in a good space to really succeed here. There's another one. Marquise Gannard looks solid. Right tackles, not too many like undervalued players. Looks like all of them are overvalued outside of some UDFA stuff. So don't see myself draft. I think McKivitt's pickup was probably the smartest thing there. Don't really see myself going after a edge rusher early. I think if I go after an edge rusher, it might be maybe, man, it's tough. I mean, this guy right here is a day 3, and he pretty much matches up there. The verticals, those are all round 1 guys. I mean, this guy's pretty solid right here. Broad jump is shite, but I mean, Trent Rudick, 6'1", 269, no thanks. Frank Freeman looks like the freak, but his push is not that great. 4'7", 329, 34.3. Probably the better one right there. I mean, when you look at that and you look at the bench, someone's got a 40 rep bench. 6'5", 318. I mean, that's not a bad late rounder to check out. I wouldn't be upset about a player like that. Defensive tackle, this is where we're really, in my opinion, pretty solid about finding these guys. You look around, you see what you can get a mixture of. So what I tend to look at is, everyone always looks at bench press, right? And they're big. And this guy looks like he could be a pretty sneaky find, Stephen Frazier. But you also want to look at the burst on some of these guys, and broad jump is an indicator on that. Agility and stuff or something, but when I look at someone like Stephen Frazier, that to me is kind of like a wall. So you look at someone with a solid, decent decent 40, but then you try to look alongside it to go, does the burst match up with it? And you got a 4.87 here in Ernie Young with a 30 vertical. Not really. I think a 34 is what I was looking at here. And you got some more finesse guys. They're under 300 pounds, which is kind of iffy right there. Daryl Huffman looks pretty good. Broad jump is 127 as well. It's another UDFA that's kind of sneaky. So we're trying to see if we could find some of the diamond in the rough when it comes to that guy, but not too bad there. Darren Brown, I mean, we could look at some other linebackers there. I'm just not as concerned in that space. I think we can find like the athletic freaks later, great, but I'm not going to try and mess that up too much. You look at someone like Jerome Love, right? 23 years old. I mean, he's okay. I don't really see myself doing much there. I am considering a corner in this year's draft because it looks like there's some pretty solid ones that did pretty well in the combine. You look at someone like Sean Beckford in the first round. He looked like someone I could take in the top 3 pick. Snag that up, move on, go after a wide receiver potentially, and then maybe hope for the running back on the back end. We'll see. But if we don't, it is what it is. I think you want to try to look at maybe that wide receiver though. Corner though, Beckford looks like the steal. He's got everything that screams he could be an amazing player. And the positive is we could just go ahead and rock with him on the back end, allowing him to just kind of be behind Will Johnson and our other corner. Man, what the heck is it? Will Johnson and Taylor Britt. Potentially even trading Taylor Britt away if we feel like it's time to move on from him. So, I mean, you look at some of these corners, they're like this guy right here in Dak Peel looks very intriguing. He's 23 years old, but a 4.36 with 18 bench. Vert's got a little bit of a concern, but I'm not too worried about that. And then you got Jameel Cooper. He is out of Ole Miss. B zone coverage. His physicals and everything say he's pretty solid. The concern is he's not as fast, I guess, but I mean, 4.37, I am not really worried about that. His broad jump is but it's not too bad there. You look at another cat right here, Jacoby Moss, 6'1", 203 out of Clemson, 18 bench, 38 vert, 125 broad jump. I mean, there's some good ones here. You got Cameron Gillisley, 6'2", 205 out of North Dakota State. Another guy that looks very intriguing to me in the middle rounds there. So, we're going to look at that. Safeties, I am trying to continue to build out the safety group. I mean, we got some okay guys, but again, it's about making sure, can we continue to fulfill that and keep it rolling. You got a UDFA that looks like a freak athlete here. He is sneaky. Roman Alonzo, 213, 5'10 out of the Air Force. That is pretty crazy right there with a 4.56, 33 vert. I mean, that's a freaking solid dude. You got Shaq Meeks, who's a second rounder. I mean, I don't know if he'll make it to us, but Drew Parker looks interesting there, 6'3", 211. You're looking at Jake Johnson here, right? Max Dunn, 34. I mean, Second round, though, I don't see myself doing that. I like Jake Johnson here out of Boise State. 4.48, 24 bench, 35 vert. I mean, that looks like a guy that in the late rounds could be a really, really sneaky pick. Taj Shorts out of Missouri is another one. Don't need a new kicker. Long snappers, they got guys there. So quarterbacks now, this is what we got to look for, folks. This is where we're at, right? Where do we stand when it comes to the quarterbacks? You got a UDFA there that looks to, and it looks like any of the guys we scouted, they're all UDFAs. So no one's got incredible awareness. Short accuracy, who wins that? Short accuracy is JD Rowe, a UDFA, but he doesn't do anything after that. Then you got Connor Huntington, a mid-round pick who's got C awareness, but this is not a bad group right there. Throw on the run, throw under pressure as well. Who's got the best throw under pressure? It's Travis Brown, Mitch Tatum, Nate Thorpe. But then the rest of their stats aren't great. Break sack right there is Nate Thorpe. I mean, when I look at it, I want to see who can bring me the best possible. And Jordan Jackson looks like that guy. Short accuracy, medium, everything screams fine. 6'1". His throw power isn't great, but when I see someone like that, I mean, you take a chance on him. Yeah, why not? You know, you try to see what you can do there. Finding a guy that's in the middle like that, Connor, it looks fine. Jordan Jackson out of Michigan, he looks like he could be okay. So we're gonna try those guys out. Continue to compete, right? It's not necessarily saying like we don't want to, you know, to go for it next year, but if you could find like a low-ended quarterback like this that could help you win, I say why the hell not, man? Why not try that out? You know, halfbacks, I'm not gonna get wild with it, but you know, it is what it is there. When we look at the prospects, folks, this is where we stand right now as far as the favorites. You go in, let's actually just do this real quick. So we have a total of maybe 30 at 25. That's fine. 25 draft picks on our board. Doesn't mean we're going to stick with it, but it gives us an opportunity, right, to see what we got here. It's not a bad look because we really want to be surgical with these decisions here. They say we need a kicker. They say we need a punter, which is hilarious. A long snapper. We don't need any of those. We don't need a right tackle. We don't need a left guard. I think that's wackadoodie right there that they say we need all that stuff. It's kind of insane. Because when you look at our team as a whole, that's not what it's screaming. I mean, a left tackle is still in the books. I mean, we could potentially trade Cam Robinson during the draft too, to maybe get some future picks, kind of throw them in. And if we draft a left guard, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When you look at the tight end group, I mean, there was a very interesting tight end in the second round that we could look at. Doesn't mean we have to, but I mean, you get a good mixture of tight ends to compete. It could fit this type of offense that we're setting up here that mimic the Ravens. Defensive tackles, I think we can find some sneaky ones there. Don't really see any edge. Corner, I mean, if we drafted that corner again, you know, you look at Cameron Taylor-Britt, right? He had an interesting year. 80 tackles, 4 picks, 6 deflections, and a forced fumble. He had a pretty solid year, but we only have him for another year. So do you trade him? Maybe. I mean, maybe you rock with him. You trade him away, and then you go freaking Will Johnson, Max Melton, MJ Emerson, and just kind of Martin Emerson, and just rock with it. Maybe. But there's nothing wrong with having enough corners as you continue to build this out. So I am ready to roll, folks. I think we got the right guys on our board. I am just hoping we can stick to it. We can make it work. Maybe, just maybe, we'll have a good draft. Here we go. The Vikings are up here, and they're going to go for their first pick. They go in and snag up that left tackle. They know he's the best piece out there. He gets it done. The Saints are going to go A.J. Cook, a defensive tackle. And we are up now, and this is what I'm talking about, right? If we trade with anybody, what would that do? The Browns say, hey, we'll give you a first round this year, a third next year, and a seventh. No thanks. To just move back 9 spots. Vikings saying, hey, we're willing to come back. We'll give you a second and another first next year. We do that, folks. We will have 3 first-round picks next year. They're going to give us a third this year, a third next year. Intriguing, but no thanks. Titans say, hey, we'll give you a first next year, second this year, 6th, nope. The Seahawks say, hey, man, we'll give you a future first. Nah, because we already got all their picks. The Seahawks, the New Orleans Saints are trying to give us their first-round picks next year and the year after that. Commanders say, hey, man, we'll give you a 4th next year and a 6th. Raiders, like, no one's trying. The Packers one's intriguing, but again, like, they're giving us a 2nd round this year, but we get their first next year, the year after that, and their 2nd round this next year, along with their 3rd this year and a 4th. No. The Jacksonville Jaguars saying, hey, man, we'll give you a first this year, first next year. You move back to pick 19. Intriguing, really. But do we really want to do that? We'd have to move back 16 spots. We got another pick later, like 5 picks after that. We have 3 first-round picks next year. That'll really allow us to set up a QB maybe. The Niners say, nope, they're in another division. Falcons will give us our first this year, so we got to move back 20 spots. First next year, 3rd next year. Eagles, they'll give us, we move back to pick 22. We get their first this year, their first next year, their 2nd next year. And look at the Dolphins trying to get wild with it. Look at the Colts trying to get wild with it. So as much as I'd like to do this, folks, I think it's appropriate that we make the pick here. Now, what do we pick? Do we go after that old lineman that everyone's like, go after, or do we go after Beckford? When you check out the mocks, right? I think that's what we have there. I think we can see that, right? Gotta pick our player, but I don't know. Can we not see the mocks? Maybe when I go pick, right? Oh no, we can't see the mocks. I think Beckford was right after. When you look at the corners, that's not a bad move. We can go after Conrad Whitfield here. He's more of a round 1 guy's top 5 projection with talent. But do you go after that guy there? I feel like Conrad Whitfield had a better combine. I don't know about that either. The tackles look like they've had a good time. I think, I like Peel as well. He's just 2 years older. He was all speed, but I think when it comes down to it, you go after somebody that can help your team out further down the road. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go Sean Beckford here. He looks really solid. Corner is a very big strength for us, but when you see someone like this, this gives you room, man. And he's got elite speed. Like, Sean Beckford looks like a freak. 6'3", 182. That kind of fits too with what we want in corners for this defense as well. You take it. Sean Beckford, welcome to the team. A+, 4 in true value. We drafted him at number 3. So we found a top player there that could really work out with hidden dev, 95 speed, 90 acceleration. Again, you got a guy that you could throw in now, or you can just let him rock, let him chill. I don't know why they say all those needs are there like that. It's really strange. Right tackle is not a need, but I like what we can do there. We do not have a pick until pick 24. We'll see if it works out. I just don't know if it will, but let's look at the top 5 pick here, see what happens. Dion Wheaton, they snag up the left tackle since we snagged up their corner. The Dolphins are up. They go Dante Derby, the defensive tackle there. I think that's a good play. Jeremiah Whiteside, another defensive tackle. Titans are going to take Taylor Brewer there. And the Jets, they have 3 first-round picks. And they go Chad Fiore. Not bad there. We're just going to check out the top 10s. Another defensive tackle, Darren Clancy. What in tarnation? And then they go after an edge there in Roby. So now we're going to go ahead and sim. Does our guy make it to us? Juan Cabrera gets drafted right there. I see a Eric Ramos. See a Jamal Flowers, a Nathan Jackson. So folks, did our player make it to us? And he did. This guy looks like a freak, folks. 23 years old, little older of a recruit or pick, but A release, A catch in traffic, 6'4", 229, stronger than any wide receiver in the draft. He's faster than pretty much only less than 2. Good north-south runner right there. We need that on this team. I think MHJ, we have an opportunity, or Michael Wilson, to move into the slot. This is a good move for us. This helps us out. Welcome to the team, Taylor Fernandez. And he is a number 7 ranked in true value. Drafted him at 24. Sudden hands make catches look easy. Consistently bailed out QBs on spectacular catches and secure hands with defenders in vicinity. And he's got that hidden dead, baby. Big freaking play right there. We go after a corner that's got the attribute and tangibles that we like. We go after the wide receiver that has the tangibles. That's how you do it right there. Now, what does that do for us, right? Do we trade a corner? I mean, I like Will Johnson. I think Will Johnson played freaking amazing. Taylor Britt was injured in part of the year. We got a lot of youth on this corner group. Do you try to trade someone like Taylor Britt? Could you? Maybe. Now, if you traded Taylor Britt, what could you get, right? Looks like people are trying to give us like shoddy picks, man. I think a Humanor would be really fun. I just don't see myself doing that. I just want to see who is right there, right? Do we try to grab another first round pick? Let's see. I mean, if we did that, what would we pick, right? When I look at my favorites right now, a lot of these guys are 2-3 cats. No one on here. It looks like the running back got taken already, which is kind of insane. He really got taken? No, he's there. Why isn't he not on my board? What the heck? So Barry is still there. Is he worth that for us? I don't think so. I really don't think that that's the guy that I'm going to be super pumped about. What about the tight end, right? Nava is still there. I mean, when you look at that guy, he's got the speed, I believe, when we look at the combine. Yeah, Nava's got the 4.6 speed. So he's still there out of Iowa, and that's freaking tight end U too. So, I mean, a tight end could be snagged up there. When you look at the guards, I mean, we're not looking at anyone crazy there. You're looking at the right guards. I mean, Meyer is there. I mean, we got some late rounder guys, like day 3 picks. Edge rushers. Don't really think I had anybody that was on this board. We got some late round picks. Defensive tackles. I don't think I had anyone there. I think they're all late rounders. Yeah. So, I don't think there's a reason to trade yet. I mean, technically, I wonder if we can try this though. Let's see if we did this right. If we did a Taylor Britt we did a Cam Taylor Britt, and we traded him to let's see who needs a corner. Maybe there's someone that needs a corner. Someone should be a green on this guy, right? Nope. Wow, some of these guys are not green, but they say they need a corner. Nope. Oh my goodness. I mean, you got the Jets saying they need a corner. So when you look at their corners, right, they got Brownlee, Stevens, Thomas. They need a corner. So if we were to trade them, what could we potentially get? I think we can probably get a second round pick next year. I think Cam Taylor-Britt is on track to be pretty awesome, but I really want to get our guy out there now. You let this guy try to find another spot. I think we can work out like that. I mean, I'm wondering, do we really, how many picks do I got? I got 2 4s. I'm wondering if I could go a Taylor-Britt and a 3 for a Jets first rounder next year. Could that work out? Maybe. Who else needs a corner? We got to see who else needs a corner here. Giants, they need a corner. Let's look at the corner situation there. Yeah, they got Phillips, Flott, and Adebo. They need a corner potentially, but I don't think so. Niners, Lenore, Green, they need a corner just on depth, but not necessarily a dog corner though. Dolphins, Enrique Hyde, Jack Jones, Deron Bland, Woodson, and Carson. They got some youth there. Trey Amos, Gardner. Nope, they don't need one. Don't need one. Chargers. I mean, kind of. I mean, these guys just need a oh my gosh, they gotta get their freaking team together. Browns, not really. Yeah, the Chargers need it for sure. I mean, the Broncos need it for sure. Bengals, not really. Bears, golly, dude, what are they doing? The makeup of some of these teams are just baffling to me. I do not understand the logic on some of these things. Really great player. Petre, they have him as a corner? I thought he was like a safety. What the hell? Maybe he's a nickel corner, maybe? Weird. I mean, the Porters, yeah, this is probably where we would go here. Where are they at with their pick? It'd be a mid-round second. I'd say we go Cam Taylor-Britt, a third rounder. Could we get a first round next year? We're going to try. And it works out, folks. We get Cam Taylor-Britt out of here. We trade him a third round pick this year, but we get a first rounder next year. That sets us up. So we won't have a third round pick this year, but we're trying to set our team up for the future. I think that's a good move there. We're going to try one more potential trade. It's going to be, I mean, we're going to have to wait on it. I got to wait and see if I can get the player I want. So we're going to go ahead and sim to the next user pick. And let's see what's out there. I don't know if the players are there, but let's look. So it looks like the tackle that we wanted, I think, is gone. Yep, the tackle's gone. I mean, the halfback I think we were considering there is gone. I mean, Bundy's still there, which is interesting. Nick Ruiz is still there. I mean, Bundy was like, people were liking. I just didn't think there was much there with Bundy. I mean, if I look at another guy like Ruiz, looks like a better potential prospect right there than freaking Bundy. But I don't think we need the running back this early. We could go another wide receiver there. Jorge Jimenez is still out there. This is a big dog right here. Not a deep receiver, 6'5". Like, this is another freak guy right here, dude. Jorge Jimenez looks ridiculous. I mean, we do that. I think we have to trade potentially MHJ or Michael Wilson. I mean, that sets up your team right there. Two large wide receivers. I mean, this sets you up. I think we're going to do it. Jorge Ramirez, 56 in true value. Drafted him at 35. He's got a little concern about his speed. I don't know how. It's just more of the acceleration, but he's got hidden dev. And folks, there's a chance you can move Jorge Jimenez to the tight end spot and really change this thing up. I could consider moving him in there, and you got yourself a tight end that you were looking for. So we do not have a pick until the 4th round, which is just fine. We don't need to get crazy with it. I think the key thing here is you're trying to find pieces that help your team out, but there's no reason to get wild with it. We have 2 4th round picks, I believe. We got one at 99, and I believe we have another one at 111. So this is where I can probably take a chance on that running back if he's still there. Oh my gosh, the running back is gone. Oh yeah, because we're 4th round. Shite. So a lot of guys are off our board here in a tough way. You look at some of these other guys, and there really isn't much. I mean, the one that kind of fits with where we're at right here is Clayton Pounds. He's a big guy, and we definitely need another edge rusher. He's a power freaking rusher here. He's just not screaming like incredible. He's got elite strength. Congratulations, but that really isn't what I want. I'm really shocked. They took that running back that was a UDFA hella early. I did not expect that there. No, they didn't. Oh, he's just not. What the hell? All right, so I mean, we got 2 4th round picks. Oh my gosh, I gotta look at this now because I think some of the stuff wasn't tagged appropriately. Because I was like, I thought I snagged one of these guys, but they weren't on my favorites. Left guard, Tucker looks really intriguing. Right tackles, no thanks. Edge rushers, no thanks. Telfair looked interesting. Calhoun there. Gotta wait on these guys. I think they could be a really solid player. No Sam linebacker. Is there a corner that really popped out? Not necessarily. You look at the combine, not really. Stapleton. A lot of the guys I was potentially looking at in the corner, they were all snagged up. They were like a different kind of size too, which I was really intrigued by. But nothing crazy there. Free safeties. I don't know if I found any. I mean, yeah, we found some UDFAs, Alonzo and Parker. So I'm kind of cool with that for some late round picks. Getting that 1st rounder, though, was nice to set us up. Quarterbacks, I mean, I looked at Jordan Jackson right here as a potential guy. I mean, Nate Thorpe is still out there, but I think Jordan Jackson looked like a interesting shot. Maybe he's available in our next pick. But I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go after Ezekiel Gerard, 5'10", 211. Helps us out in the halfback group. Avoids big hits. Fights for every yard. Needs to work on simple concentration drops. Gets careless with the ball, which leads to fumbles. I mean, he's a big dog. He can be in the depth piece. I like what I'm seeing there. 63 in true value. Drafted him at 99. He's a shifty cat. 94 speed. 92 acceleration. Again, setting up this team, building it up with hopes of seeing a really legit group in next year's offseason. We got one more pick here, and this is where, right, 4th round doesn't necessarily say like, okay, this is it, this is what you got to do. But the way I kind of look at it is I'd like to take this guard in Tucker that looked like a ridiculous find. 6'5", 305, A pass block, A awareness, B, what was that? B impact block. It's got some run block issues, but all in all, this guy could potentially be a nasty wall for us. Out of Florida State, he's 21 years old. I like what I'm seeing here. Again, it's about building the depth of this team, and he looked like a nasty. He has 62 in true value, drafted in 111. You see stats like that, and you can't ignore it. Hidden dev, let him grow. He's going to be behind Edwards. He's going to be behind Chris Paul. You got yourself a dog right there. I love that. We found him, and we kind of move on. Giving up a 3rd round pick is rough, but honestly, I think that was very realistic there, especially if we want to compound our picks for next year to set us up for the big move. A lot of things that are out here are day 3 things. You saw Kennard that looked like a freak. It's a 5th round pick here. I mean, when I look at these guys like Stephen Frazier, 6'6", 336, he just looked like an elite type of guy. He's not the greatest when it comes to the attributes. Daryl Huffman, I mean, he has one particular move, which is finesse, 6'3", 302 out of Oregon State. I mean, this looks like a very interesting player here, 5th round pick. Can't complain. We need depth in the DT spot, so I'm glad we do that. Welcome to the team here. 79 in true value. Drafted him at 143. Old strong at point of attack. Too quick for some pass protectors. I mean, he's a normal dev, but this is going to help us out. Again, it's about finding the needs, getting guys that are definitely going to be specific to certain packages. 163 pick is up. We are in the 6th round here. Again, it's about trying to find these other pieces here. We got some safeties. You do have a right guard here that was a day 3 look, a impact block, but everything else screamed not so great. He's got the right intangibles, but do you snag up Marquise Kennard here? I mean, he's 6'3", 223. We got Pratchett. I don't really know if we want to do that. I'd like to get some safeties here. And I see something in Ramon Alonso as a potential. This dude's just a straight up athlete. He could be good in the special teams there. He's just going to be behind some of our guys. You look at someone like Drew Parker, a little older, but look at this, 6'3", 211, pretty much a linebacker back there. Holy hell. Also another good athlete. Speed's an issue, but again, he looks freaking pretty good. Good intangibles. Now we look at the strong safeties. Jake Johnson, 6 foot, 206. Kind of a guy that you're probably going to put in the box, but again, look at this athlete right here, dude. This dude's kind of a freak. And then you got yourselves Taj Shorts, and he looks all right. So what do we do here? Do we go after a day 3 guy? How many other picks do we got left? Let's double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure I got a couple more. So we got one more 6 and then 2 7s. So we're actually okay to grab pretty much all the guys that we want. Now, is there anybody out there that is kind of intriguing? You look at someone like Nicholas Paul, 6'3", 253. He's pretty much the fastest tight end out there. But that's pretty much it. He's just a very fast guy that's categorized as a tight end. You look like Kendrick McCoy, a catching. I mean, that's not a bad setup there, but I don't think we need that. So I think when it comes down to it, you go after what you think makes a whole lot of sense here. And I do like Stephen Frazier. He's a big guy, but I think we can get him for like one of our 7th round picks. Kennard as a right guard. He's got a impact, but that's pretty much it. I don't see him doing much more than that. It just says solid, but I think that's what you're going to get as a depth piece there. I think that's, I guess, what we do. We take him and then we go after Parker right after. Or Parker or Alonso. I think it's Parker. Oh my gosh, this guy he's solid. Ramon Alonso, but I thought it might have been Parker. No, it's Alonso. So we're going to go Kennard here, 22 years old from Florida. 275. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. But hidden dev. So you let him kind of grow and let him build up, and you don't sweat it. Those are the kind of ones right there. You're just like, you do not worry about it. You roll with it. We got another pick coming up here. We didn't get a quarterback, folks. We kind of rolled with that, and it is what it is in that space. But then I want to see, is our guy still out there? He is. You take the free safety, Ramon Alonso, 22 out of the Air Force, 5'10", 213, kind of a thumper. 112 in true value. We drafted him at 184. Won't deliver bone-crushing hits. He's fast enough, serviceable in zone. 87 speed, 92 acceleration. He's going to be behind our depth pieces there. And again, I'm not upset about that. All about like this later rounds here, you're hoping to hit on some, but the goal is like, dude, take what you can get here and work with it. I don't know if we need anything there. Let's see what other positions are open. So you still got some day 3 guys here. You got someone in Levi Ryans, 6'1", 301 out of Georgia Tech. He's got some discipline issues. He delivers bone-crushing hit. Dude, what the hell? Did we just find our guy? Another player right here that could be, you know, he's an athlete. He's gonna need some work, man. How big is this dude? 6'1", 301 out of Georgia Tech. Huh. Interesting. We got Skylar Schilling here. That's just straight speed. I don't really think we need another wide receiver. We grabbed a guard. We did fine there. We grabbed a defensive tackle. I mean, I think you take this guy and you're good with it. Is there any other? Yeah, Wilbur, Stevens, day 3 guy. I mean, I'm gonna take a chance on Steven Davis here. I mean, they're calling when you got elite attributes somewhere. He's an agile guy, but man, this screams not great. His awareness is. He's a pass blocking tackle from the get. Probably moving to right tackle. I mean, we could potentially trade Jalen Moore and let this guy be a backup. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna look at that other defensive tackle. We're gonna grab him. 22 years old. Let's see if it worked out. Oh shit! Struggles to get. Oh my gosh! I went for the dingbat. Oh, that's a practice squad player. Ugh. And then we don't got another pick until the very end. Oh, that is brutal. Well, let's see if our tackle's there, because if he is, that would be sweet. Last pick of the draft here, Mr. Irrelevant. And he is there. So I'm going after Steven Davis, folks. 21 years old out of Ole Miss. 198 true value. Drafted him at 224. Normal dev. So again, you let him kind of train. You let him work through it. Not a bad freaking draft in my opinion. We got 69 players on the roster. Nice. But look at that. Beckford, 78 overall. Taylor Fernandez, 78 overall. We found the dogs here, folks. 21 years old. Has all the attributes to be a baller now. I want to see if we can get this guy's uni and everything in order here. I think that would be a sweet move for us. Let's check out his appearance there. I mean, you got to get this guy some sleeves, right? You can't just let him freaking not have them. What do we got here? Ooh, he's got a little. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. What do we got here? I like those. We just give him the same one on that side. I think that's clean. Yeah, I think that's clean. What do we got on the hands? He's a Adidas. That's fine. I mean, that's not a bad look for this guy. Let's see what his feet, dude. Zeros. That's his shoe right there. I guess it's okay. What do we got for the socks? Ugh. Oh, hell no, dog. I mean, yeah, I think we're fine with this. Number 27's not a bad look. 78 overall freaking corner, man. That is a great start to the draft. And then you look at freaking 6'4", 229, Taylor Fernandez. This guy looks like he's going to be... Oh, gosh, his injury is why are the injuries so messed up? And then we grabbed Jimenez, 73 overall. Hidden Dev. Again, it's another guy that we can work through his injuries a little bit better. I mean, those are really nice freaking setups there. We go after Ezekiel Gerard. Good speed on him. It's a guy that we can kind of just put in the mix and be okay. We grab Tucker, who's a 72 overall, hidden dev left guard. Again, you're talking about depth on this O-line that is going to set our guys up. Free safety Ramon Alonso, I think, is a pretty nice move right there. Guy's got the speed to be a very good depth piece. And then we went after Steven Davis. It looks kind of nuts, but in my opinion, it's not a bad setup. 74 awareness, that means the rest of his attributes will go towards his other abilities, and he'll move up quickly as we continue to grow it. When you look at the rest of the division, right, for the NFC West, what is that? The Niners there. The Niners picked up a 74 overall center, 71 overall corner, and Gillisley. He was one of the guys we were looking at. Not bad there. Trent Rudnick, Romero got picked up. When you look at the next group, that is the Seahawks. Seahawks didn't have a first round pick. They have Tovar is who they snagged up for their first pick of the draft. Then they went after Meyer. I think that's a good move for them. And then they snagged up Rafael Mendoza with the 69 in the 5th round. So it's the Cardinals. Oh, the Rams, we missed them. So the Rams went after right tackle Earl McPherson, 73 overall, followed by Nick Ruiz, the power back out of Ole Miss, 75 overall. Pretty good there. Let's check out the NFL. 79 overall was Hernandez. I mean, that's a great move right there. Best player was Nava, folks. We saw him there, and the Giants snagged him up in the 31st pick. We thought about moving up, but was it worth it? Not really. DJ Riddick for the Eagles. He had 81 overall. We had Beckford, Lance Reynolds there, Hernandez. Eric Ramos was the other tight end that was available. Andy Foley was another big tight end. There's Gerard Berry, 77 overall. Ugh. Brutal, man. A lot of 76 players there. Now, did anyone do well? And they did. Mac McKinney in the 5th round. Mac Kinney, 75 overall, 5th round pick. Chandler Springs, 6th round pick. Incredible. Tyson Gordon, 5th round pick, 74 overall. Great moves right here by the other teams. 73 overall, Carlos Bautista, late 6th round pick. Sean Gordon, 6th round pick. There were some players, man. Santiago Contreras, 73 overall, 5th round pick. You can't make this up, man. Really good players all across the board. I like what we did. I mean, we got 69 players on the roster. I think when you look at where we're at right now, it sets us up. I'm going to go and rearrange the depth chart, and then we'll talk through it. So this is what the preseason, like prior to the preseason, would look like. So right after the draft, this is how the team would look. We're an 81 overall offense with a 81 overall defense. So we dropped a little bit, but in my opinion, it still looks freaking solid. Good group of players, depth all over the place. Interested in seeing how this is going to work out, because I could see myself potentially trading one of those players there to allow the rest of the group to work. But what do you do here, right? You got someone like Marvin Harrison Jr. who had a pretty solid year last year. You got someone like Michael Wilson that had a pretty good year last year. I think when it comes down to it, you probably trade the older guy. You allow yourself to grow the other pieces there. Maybe bring in another wide receiver piece, but I mean, that's not bad. Defensively, I think we look again freaking good. Maybe we look at another edge rusher, but you're building this corner group to kind of grow together, and all the goal now is not to grab a bunch of players, but to really find the real pieces. Next year with 3 first-round picks, you're going to get that quarterback. Next year is the year you try to snag that up and you try to make it work. everything looks like we're heading in the right direction. I'm interested in seeing where we go here, but a lot to work on. That's where we'll leave it, folks. Next episode's all preseason. It'll be a longer episode, but it'll be fun. That'll do it for us today, everybody. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. I appreciate everyone that stopped by today. Y'all have yourself a good one, and as always, let's go Aviators.